Robo Woodwood 59.
Hey, this is Rosewood59 here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cool guitar head hook to hang your guitars off of. This is one for acoustic and this is one for electric guitars. You can download these free plans and hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so I've got my image all cut out here for the guitar head hook. And basically just kind of figure out what kind of pieces of wood lengthwise here that would work best for your pieces. Now you can use solid wood for this application, is no problem, but I wanted to use more exotic woods, but they do get expensive when they're very solid. So what I would recommend is finding a piece of maple or pine if you wanted to use something inexpensive. And then this one here is, I already pre-veneered up. I'm going to show you how to do that right away. But this is zebra wood, and so it's kind of nice because it'll give this really nice effect to it. And then this one here is bird's eye maple, as you can see here in some of the reflection. So it allows you to give you different types of wood, exotic woods that you may not be able to get solid. You can, but they do get very, very expensive. Especially if you want to do this as gifts or sell them. It does get expensive for cost wise. So I thought I'd show you guys how to glue it all up here. This is just a 3/4 inch solid maple, and so I'm just going to use my finger here to apply it on, and I'm using Tybond 3 and wood glue, and the reason for that is because it has 10 minutes set time, and it takes approximately 5 to 10 minutes to get everything organized, so you don't want your stuff gluing it ahead of time. And what you want to do then is, once you've got your piece, you want to cut out your veneer to the same width and length size. It's okay if they're a little bit overhang and everything like that. I would rather have a little bit overhang a little bit on each side, so if it does slide when I put the clamps on top of it, is that it's all nice and flat if it does move a little bit. So I've got my two pieces here, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my glue on here and spread it around. Don't have to be neat or pretty here, just want to get it on. You can use a card, an old card or anything like that, but I find just using my finger and just kind of laying it out is kind of the best way I find. You just want to lay it out nicely so you get all nice and even. So that looks pretty good. And you just want to keep some wax paper here down. I'm just going to put the veneer on top here. Just kind of set it on down here. And we'll flip it over. Just like that. Spread it around here. Alright, so now you've got that, we're going to grab our other piece here and put that right on top. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab another piece of wax paper and put it on top. And when I just got a scrap piece of here of MDF on the bottom, what you're going to do is put this on top. We're just going to make sure it's more in the middle here. And it's going to double check. It is kind of sliding just a little tiny bit. And that's where you just got some handy dandy some tape here. And I'm just going to use some painter's tape here. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just holding this more in position so that when I put the clamps on top that it doesn't make it slide too much. Because if your clamps slide too much, then your veneer is going to slide like that. And then when you go and get your piece, you're not going to be too happy if your veneer slid off of it too much. So what we're going to do is put that on top. And then you're just going to grab your clamps and just slightly put them on. And now you want to do is just want to put just a little titch, not want to tighten it, because if you tighten it too hard right now, everything is going to move on you, and that's not what you want. So you want clamp roughly in the middle. So get that nice little tight. And then this one here, because it's small enough, I'm going to have more at the end here. And then I'm going to grab another one. I'm just going to tighten them just a little bit. Just a little bit more pressure here now, because we got more on. And now I'm just going to grab this other one here. And I'm just kind of looking just to see where the end pieces are, just to make sure I'm within the area that I am. And a little pressure. Now, part will be just kind of tightening up everything now. You want it really nice and tight. If you do have a vacuum press, that is even awesomer, because it'll give you really, really nice tight pressure. But just because it's such a small little piece, you really don't need it. So I'm just tightening everything up here nice and tight. And I'm going to let this sit for 2 hours in the clamp. Alright, now that you've got everything all traced out on your piece of wood, we're going to go ahead and just cut it out on the bandsaw. Alright, now that you finished cutting out on the bandsaw, now what we're going to do is take it to the sander here and give it a nice good sand. And if you don't have one of these, you certainly can just use some sandpaper and sand it by hand. But since I've got a sander here, I'm just going to go ahead and sand it down, and then just by hand, just a little bit to knock all the edges off. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to drill our holes. One we want to drill for our main hook that's going to be actually holding the actual guitar. And then the other ones are going to be for going into your stud or using an anchor into your wall. All I basically used was a number 8 screw with a countersink bit attached to it, and just roughly measured in the center of it, which I measured 1 inch down and then 1 inch up. Then measure up approximately 2 inches I did. And then I used a 5/16 drill bit and drilled all the way through. And now, since this is 3/4 inch material, this length here is longer than 3/4. So basically what I did was I drilled my hole and then I twisted this all the way completely in, to the far back, and then kind of just roughly put a permanent marker on so I knew exactly where to cut. And then basically just use a Dremel tool, or if you don't have one, you can use a hacksaw and just cut off your end. And this is what it looks like with the hook on. And basically the next step will be just taking this off and then just adding a clear coat on top of this. Now that you have finished it and completed it, and you hung it on the wall, all you gotta do is hang your favorite guitar and enjoy. Thanks for watching.